Welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, we're in the back part of our coal power plant here, right? So right there's those are the smokestacks of the coal power generators that we just built. And I'm back here and I'm noticing that our coal wall wasn't producing very much. You know, not very much was getting lifted up. And it's because, effectively one of these lines represents a certain amount of coal power generators, and this one represents a certain amount. But we should probably try to mix and match them a little bit. So we're just going to put in a smart splitter and a merger right next to it. Okay. Gonna do the high-speed belt. And then here, we're gonna say the right. Let's send the overflow. So if this gets backed up for whatever reason, then we'll ship some extra onto that line. And on this side, we'll just do the opposite. And we'll overflow in this direction. So if this one gets backed up, then it can ship over here. Now, this really shouldn't happen very often once we get everything in place. But it does help for right now to make sure we start burning and saving all of that extra coal power that we're generating. There's really no reason to not get it in a battery somewhere, right? Okay, so that's looking a lot better. Now, we're here to finish this basement. We can figure out a good way to start this. We've got blueprints all over the place. I think I need to go down here and start over if I'm going to have any hope of connecting to a blueprint. Boy, the required target angle for this is intense. Oops. Totally missed that one. We definitely don't want to delete anything that we want to keep. So we're going to be extra... Whoops, see, look at that. Almost accidentally deleted a water extractor. Tried to do it again. Technically, this should be on that side. But I think we've got so many blueprints flying around. Gaming's having a hard time figuring out what we're trying to connect to in blueprint mode. What if we get out of blueprint mode? I think we need to be in blueprint mode. Let me see if I can, if I go over here, try to connect it from across the way. We'll have to give that a shot. I mean, I think we're blueprinted ourselves to death. The top part here. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We have parts of this where we did not finish the roof. So let's do that first, and then we'll come back and figure out that oddball one. I think this one should work a little easier. Yeah. The volume of the blueprint is a real thing. The fact that I can even see the volume of the blueprints seems kind of new to me. But that's the danger of playing on the experimental branch. You can never tell if what you're experiencing is something new or something you just hadn't noticed before. I think the lesson learned here is to build the lowest level first. If you're going to be dealing with a large number of blueprints, because that was way easier. We're going to have that one right there. It's going to be a pain. It's going to be an extreme pain. It might be so terrible that I might have to go back and just build it manually. We'll see. Let's see, we got 2 more of these to build. Boo. That one went in backwards. I'm not sure why it sometimes chooses to rotate. I want to keep the stackable poles close to us. And, you know, every now and again we're going to have one that's off. I'm going to leave that in there. Give it a little personality. The good news is with all these power storage, we're not wasting any power. You have to remember that power storage has unlimited. it can discharge. That's the word I'm looking for. It can discharge power at an unlimited rate, but it can only collect power. I think, is it 100 megawatts per second or something like that? So if you have a lot of extra power like we have, or we're gonna have, okay, just checking to see if I had any copper sheets on me. I'm thinking I should go through and put the pipes together next. Then come back and put the power storage in. I am looking for an opportunity to build a few of these on a single pass. Of course, we still have this to build. I mean, it is connecting to the blueprint of the ceiling. There's a little space right here. Let's see if we can replicate that. Yikes. There's a magical snap point here. And I literally can't tell which direction is which because if I turn to look, I lose the snap point. Well, it's a 50-50 chance. Oop, there it is. We may have found it. Nope, it's different again. Come on, where are you? Maybe you're on this side. Ah. We're getting lucky. There's just too many blueprints in this area now. Somehow we're getting this right. We made it to the end. Shoo. I think we're built on a sort of a cross section of a render point here. A lot of things are popping in that I wouldn't expect have to pop in. It's very odd. We'll see if update 8 helps us with that. Okay. We're going to build you from a distance. It's just a bunch of pipe building at this point. Luckily, our copper sheet supply is very plentiful. Our starter factory is really doing a lot of heavy lifting here. I don't know if you... Can I go all the way over here? Yeah, it's too long. This is definitely a very particular kind of intensity. Trying to make sure that all these pipes are connected correctly and don't try to loop around or anything silly like that. But I have to admit, this has been a huge project for our first build on this playthrough. I mean, the Satisfactory, I guess, counts as well. So it's been a huge build for our second build for this playthrough. There is a lot going on here. We could have gotten this done with fewer water pumps. But fewer water pumps means more power. And I'm trying to get as much power out of this as I can. So, underclocking a bunch of machines saves you power. Now, water extractors really don't use a lot of power, but normally what I would do is I would overclock them. Yeah, see, that was a miss. I would overclock the water extractors. And that definitely uses extra power. And power shards, by the way. I think power shards are best used for miners. Oil extractors, things like that. The availability of water is pretty good in most cases. Especially if you're willing to build on the ocean like I am here. Whereas, you know, an iron mine or a copper mine or a deuterium mine is, especially something like sulfur, very limited. Also, very happy to have my 2 300 pipes act as one 600 pipe theory confirmed. It was confirmed in comments in my previous video and confirmed in reality in the game itself that we can move 600 water this way. Done. Let's see if we can put in power. It's gonna be rough, I think. I think we can put in the power storage now, though. if we can find an empty one of these. And let's check our blueprints. We want the coal power storage for 96. Which is a lot. It's gonna be a heck of a pull here. Let's see. It wouldn't hurt if I could get all the stators, maybe? The real problem here is that these frames are ridiculously... I mean, they just don't compact down very nicely. $15, $30 frames. I should probably pick up some more frames. That's our best bet. Well, this promises to be easy. We're gonna run out of frames, but no need to run all the way back without putting those in. Let's see, it takes 30 frames per blueprint. We should at least get 300. Oh, 420. How fun. Are we using plates? We're not using plates right now. See if we can do side to side. Ran out of wire. We still have 66 of these to build. That seems high. Well, we're actually struggling on wire. We need more wire in our inventory. Let's grab this 500 wire here. The ratios are just not really great. We can't drop a full stack of concrete. I guess we're half on the rods. We could probably pull back on some of those and then put a little bit more wire in our inventory. Not much more, but a little more. As predicted, we ran out of wire. Yeah, I'm already thinking about what we want to do next. I've never really built a proper heavy modular factory, so that's where my mind's going. Heavy modular factory? Yeah, the modular frame, heavy modular frame, that line of things. I also know that we need to get into the next phase so we can make our builds a little easier. The lack of technology is kind of killing us. We want to be in a row where we can hit 2 of these at once. So yeah, I was thinking about that, but yeah, we probably need to make our hub area and then start putting some phase components together. That's probably what we need to do next, just from a giving ourselves the technologies necessary to make the rest of our builds a little more efficient. That's probably the best thing to do next. All we have left to deal with now is frames and wire. I guess we could, well, yeah, let's just stick to this line right here. And we'll just be on the lookout to our right for some additional opportunities for power storage. Last one, and we're short on, looks like power. I think we have the rest of them in. We're short on wire. So for some reason I had 25 more than I needed planned. Story of my game, right? We're gonna have to put together a little temporary awesome sync situation to delete all this stuff once we're done. I'm actually pretty sure I don't need that, but I'm gonna check out of the corner of my eye here to see if we're missing any power storage. I think we're done. Of course, the way to know that for sure is to connect it all to the connect it all to the main. We'll cheat a little bit. We'll start over here. If you remember, this blueprint internally connects all the batteries to each other and all the plugs to each other. So they're on one big shared circuit here, so we can just run down the line and connect this wiring. Though, I think I did resolve to connect the wiring on this side. And which side we use doesn't matter as much as the fact that we don't have to choose the side. So yeah, I'm thinking hub next. And then we need to find a cool place for our hub, our main base. And then maybe we'll just bring everything back to it to build project parts. We'll let other stuff sort of get made where it makes sense. But maybe we'll build the project parts all in one area. Oh, that's better. Click, click. as opposed to swipe, click, swipe, click. Oh, we missed one. Easy enough. $30 until all of that's full. You know, the point isn't necessarily to fill all the batteries up. The point is to never have to worry about power again. And then if you do have to worry about power, to have time to fix your problem before your factory shuts down. And of course, I think it looks cool. I guess technically it doesn't matter. If I go click here, still have to swipe to run to the next one. Or maybe I don't have to. Let's double back and look at those. Those are all connected, and we are gonna choose to connect it on this side. This doesn't have a railing, so that should make it a little easier. Oh yeah. It's faster to wire it up without the railing. Sorry about that. A little elbow slip there. Two or three more. Okay. Check my notes here. Looks like we're ready for water extractors. Who knows how accurate it is, but I wrote down that we needed 72 of them. While we're running through, we'll just eyeball to make sure that those batteries are charging. Just so we can save for certain. I think we're done with frames. We're probably also done with stators. Sort this down. Let's grab what we need for pipes. I don't think we need all these on us. And let's grab what we need for rotors. Where did we put the rotors? Uh-oh. Did we bring the rotors? Oh wait, there they are. All right, so generally speaking, we want to try to center these. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So, yeah, right here. And we're gonna kind of leave it to the back. There's no way it's supposed to be 72 of these. Then again, maybe it is. All right, that one's way too far back. Let's try that again. I think we're going to lose our indicator in a couple of these. but I also think that's okay. We're just gonna hit the blue and move on. So yeah, this week we're gonna launch another series, Stranded: Alien Dawn. Probably start that today. Well, actually, probably start it Monday, the 22nd. And actually, it should have already started by the time you see this video. Always looking for new games to play. Let me know if you've got one that you would be interested in. Stranded: Alien Dawn is a little more stressful than I normally would consider for the channel, but it won me over. I actually didn't like the game. It reminded me of that Clockwork Engines game. That maybe I need to give that one another try. The scale of it is just a little too small for me normally. Having to make individual shirts and beanies and things like that. But in this case, it really won me over. I just got a rash of text messages, and it's 2 in the morning, so it's a little surprising. So yeah, I mean, normally I don't get into games where you have to make individual clothing, but the storytelling in that game was so good that it just kind of pulled me in. So be on the lookout for that. Stranded Alien Dawn. We played the crash scenario. You might have to go back and play the trading scenario. Apparently there's a trading scenario that you can also play. One more row to go. Let's just run around. To building on this side. You know, I try to say, hey, I'm going to build some of this off camera, and then people are like, no, don't build it off camera. I'm like, okay. I also promised when I was making season 3 I knew I was going to go for bigger builds. I didn't know I was going to go quite this big. But I also said the videos were going to be longer. I think I spent 2 hours maybe on my previous coal power plant. I think in this case we've spent maybe 15 hours so far. We spent more time just dealing with the water for this plant than we did with our other plants combined. All right, so we got that in place. Let's see, what does it take to make a junction? Okay, just copper. What we'll do is we'll grab some copper sheets. Load up the copper sheets. And you know, one of these things, sometimes I watch a YouTube channel and I like it and it's having a good time, and then they play a game that I can't play, right? It's either early access, and I'm not begrudging anybody for having sponsored content. Obviously, you know, everybody's got bills to pay, so sponsored content or playing a game and putting it in front of your audience, that makes sense for that audience. It's fine, but I always hate it when I can't play the game. Like, oh, look, you put a game in front of me, I like it. I want to at least to be able to play a demo. Well, that's a long way of saying what I'm going to say next, which is that's one of the reasons why I don't use mods. Because I don't know that it's really an accurate representation. And all I'm doing right now is just lining up some junctures for these water extractors to connect. I don't think it's an accurate representation. And then if you like the game that I'm playing, enough mods and you're playing a different game. You know what I mean? And then you have to spend all this time trying to figure out, okay, well, do I tell people to download mods? What if they don't know how to download mods? Now do I have to tell them how to download mods? What if the site has malware? And then you're telling people to go to a site that has malware and you don't know it? I don't know. That last part's probably old school gamer concern. Probably doesn't exist as much now, but you never know. All that to say, that's why I don't use mods, even though there are some very powerful mods out there that would make life much easier for these mega builds especially. Also, I sometimes wish I could have permaday, because I would probably make it permanite. I just think the game looks better at night. Though most people seem to think that YouTube videos are better made in the day. Not sure I agree. Let's see if it's faster to build it down here. It's definitely easier to line it up, but it's harder to juncture it to the top. Yeah, still, it might be the way to go. Ooh. that's too much. Get into a bit of a trance at times. Just sort of running, lining, clicking. But I have resolved to complete this first level of infrastructure today. Ooh. So what do you think? I have a hard policy about not changing. Like, if I'm going to build 100 of a thing, and then after that I need 100 of a thing, and then after that I need 100 of a thing. I think it's faster to not change your toolbar or change what you're building. Just build all of, in this case, the junctions. Then go back and build all of the wires. As opposed to, I could build this, then I could switch to pipe. Right? I have to make sure I'm on horizontal vertical. Then I could come over here. I could switch to power. But then technically, I need to go over here and set this to 45 water, because that's our target amount. And then this would be done as a thing. Then I just go down and do that again. I think this assembly line approach that I'm taking is a little bit faster than that. Maybe a lot of bit. Even though it does result in me getting my extra steps in. I'd be curious to see if people had a strong opinion. On whether it makes sense to complete a full unit, power, water, junction, or am I doing it the best way by just quickly going through, sort of mindlessly in some ways, knocking this out. I might be able to be convinced that the power and water part of this might make more sense. I'm gonna try it. We'll try it. I mean, that wasn't bad. It only took us 10 minutes. So what we have left, and unfortunately you can't paste settings onto water extractors. There's no copy paste options. We've got the cable I think that we need, and we probably have the copper that we need. But let's grab a little extra. Just checking over here to see if everything's connected. Yeah. So let's see, what's the move? Connect here to here. Here to here. Then maybe while I'm moving, I could go to here. Yeah, I just feel like I have to stop too much. Or in this way, I can just go like this. I wonder if water... I think we're going to have to adjust our lift floor. Dramatic lighting. Or our lift wall dramatic lighting. I think if we moved it far enough down, we could get it underwater and still have it light the wet wall and the lift wall. Whoop. Gotta go from top to bottom. It's cool that this game allows you to make those types of distinctions, right? The fact that it builds differently if you start here and go to here, as opposed to starting here and going to here, gives you so many options. Or if it just said, well, the connection's the connection, and that's it. And whatever way the programmer decided was the way it went. There's a lot of places where they make little distinctions like that, that I'm very impressed with. Whoa. I think the connecting the power and then setting it might be the thing we can do in one shot. Okay. Let's connect the power. Yeah, so I'm wondering if underwater lighting that passes through the water. I'm wondering if maybe more so in Update 8, if you'll see the reflections and refractions of that water in the light that gets cast. Because if so, that could make that light wall, or the lift wall, look really cool. Unfortunately, so far anyway, I haven't figured out how to make the game produce a moving shadow. Uh-oh. We're hitting power. That's bad news. That means our new coal installation is having issues. Yeah, it could just be that we've connected all this water. And it's filling a bunch of pipes. But that's not good. Oh yeah. We're actually using all of it. Holy moly. That's intense. This is all because of these new water extractors. At least that's who I'm blaming. 20 megawatts each, or we can set you to 45. And use 5.5 megawatts each. $20 megawatts for 5.5. So if we said 20 divided by 5.5, oh boy. Let's try this one more time. 20 divided by 5.5 times 45, 163. So we're getting 163 worth of power. We're getting 163 power worth of water by underclocking, where we would only get 120. Something like that. It's saving us. It's saving us in power expenditure, but it's making, obviously, dramatically increasing the size of the build. Totally distracted myself to the point where I don't remember where I was. We were building power. I think we came out of this line. We were going around the corner here. Oh, looks like we finished that side. Got another one of these that's poking out. it doesn't have to be perfect, but I also don't want it clipping through the concrete. Right? I mean, there's multiple kinds of clipping. And I think the worst kind of clipping is the kind of clipping that happens. Oh no! Let's go back. The worst kind of clipping is the kind that happens with a thing that's moving. That's hard to justify. I might say that's the hardest to justify. Oh boy. I really pushed a bunch of these way back, didn't I? It was a small amount, but I wonder if I can build this from this angle. No. The answer is no. Oh, did we finish? Let's check in on our lift wall here. So we're still consuming a little bit. We're just not dumping it in. Or we're dumping it in way faster than we're consuming it. And that's because on a good day, we've got 25 coal generators connected, but we don't have the water connected to support all of those. I think we should run through and underclock all of these. I don't know if I know an easy way to do this. We could probably reach most of these, and then we'll have to do a manual paste. If I hit escape right now, is it set? All right. Gotta find a position of my hands on the keyboard here again. There we go. Escape. Oh no. Paste. Close. All right, that might be the way to do it. Underclocking saves us power. And I do want to save power. I think that's the rhythm right there. E, find, double click, paste, close, and we'll run to the next one. Oh no! You know, sometimes I'm constantly thinking about the YouTubers that I've watched before. And for some of you, I know I don't talk enough. But I have been in situations where I'm watching a YouTuber and the gameplay is good and I'm having a good time, and I think the need to fill dead space can become worrisome for some people. And so they just start talking about the thing that's very obvious, or they just seem like they have to talk the entire time. I don't want to get in a situation where I feel like I have to talk all the time. Right now we're just kind of chilling and setting a bunch of water extractors to our target speeds. Basically, if you think about it, we've made one water extractor per coal generator. Let me reach it. Right? And for me, this is kind of the ideal. I always see folks saying, you know, on the internet, it's like, how many coal generators can I run using one water extractor? I'm like, well, I'm not sure that's the right question. But it is a question you can ask. It's interesting because it introduces a whole bunch of other questions. Like, well, one water extractor at what speed? Are we overclocking? The real problem is these things target at 120. And so each water extractor defaults to 120. Each coal generator wants 45 water. So it's 2.6 is the answer. You know, it's the generalized answer to that question. And all I'm saying is it's more power efficient to make one coal generator and have each one have its own water extractor. I think I'm actually done here. Let's go for a swim to celebrate. Okay, now I'm under the area here. Let's figure this out. Sigh, give me a second. Okay, we made it out. I think these are all set up. I feel extra tall. I'm trying to crouch jump, but I'm not being allowed, so we're not going to worry about it. Yeah, I think we're basically done. We did a huge amount of infrastructure building. The only other thing that I could consider is reconnecting the wet wall, but I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do this project in the next video. We'll get all of this water connected, doop, and then we'll build up the pipes, we'll build up the lift wall, and then we'll connect the compacted coal from over there to the lift wall, and then we'll adjust how the lighting for the lift wall comes into play. All right, well, that was a huge infrastructure build. I appreciate you hanging out. It was fun. It was a lot, but it was fun, actually. Ooh, if I had the steel beams and steel pipes, I'd connect this. Because we are going to need a little bit of a boost. All right. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. Especially on these longer infrastructure builds. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.